All right, so I have been wanting for Batwoman to be put in a horror slash dark story, and maybe even have DC solidify her as the member of the Bat family that specializes in that field. If I could have it my way, I would have a new run of Justice League Dark or something similar to that, and have Kate Kane as the detective of the group. First time we saw her in action, she was fighting werewolves and other beasts controlled by Whisper, the people that worked for Etrigan, and they were religious zealots devoted to the religion of crime. Then you had Rene Montoya and Victor Sage, all a new question, uncover a conspiracy to destroy the world by an organization called the Religion of Crime. They believe on a prophecy that required the sacrifice of that whom was named twice after Cain, like Cain and Abel from the Bible. So this guy called Mannheim and this lady called Whisper, who led the Religion of Crime at the time, they learned that Batwoman's secret identity was Kate Kane. So they kidnapped her from her penthouse because Kanes have always been wealthy people from the beginning, and even when they were not related to the Waynes. And just when Mannheim was about to proceed with the sacrificial ceremony, Montoya, the new question, arrived to interrupt. Unfortunately, she couldn't fully stop because of the mayhem that ensued, and Kate ended stabbed in her heart by Mannheim as part of the ritual. Mannheim made a fatal mistake. He turned his back on Kate to take out Montoya, but Kate was an old gun, and she took her pound of flesh back. Why? Because this bat is different. This bat kills. Following this, we have Elegy from Detective Comics by Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams, which brought back the Religion of Crime and a new leader called Alice. This time, the Religion of Crime was after Batwoman because their new leader, Alice, who was actually Beth Kane, Kate's twin sister, who she believed dead. Batwoman confronts some of the members of the religion about the quote-unquote prophecy, the twice named daughter of Kate. It was always about her and her lost sister. It wasn't after Cain and Abel. It was Beth Kane and Kate Kane. Then, after the Flashpoint event that resets the DC universe, Batwoman was given her first solo run. The first arc, called Hydrology, introduced the Weeping Woman, also known as La Llorona, an evil water ghost that was terrorizing Gotham by disappearing children. The Religion of Crime is back in Batwoman New 52, now led by a fanatic called Abbott, and they are in a turf war with another gang called Medusa. They are just as bad as the Religion of Crime. Medusa's leader, Mero or Matle, she has the ability to bring to life folktale monsters. If anyone believes in the tales, she can make it a reality. Like, for example, she made the Weeping Woman reality. Another example was Killer Croc. There were folktales in Gotham about mutant reptiles living in the sewers. Basically, Killer Croc went from just a regular rogue into an actual sewer folktale monster. He grew taller. He actually grew a whole mouth like an alligator. It was great. By the third arc, called World's Finest, Batwoman teamed up with Wonder Woman to fight both sides of the war. Coincidentally, Kate took on the Religion of Crime in Gotham, and Diana took on Medusa somewhere presumably in Greece. I don't know what they were doing over there, it's just what we are told. In the end, the war takes over Gotham. Havoc all over the streets with Medusa, gang members running around, Religion of Crime monsters killing civilians all over the place, and an actual Hydra beast wrecking everything in its path. Batwoman did her thing underground. She managed to fight between both cults, minimize the casualties, I guess. And Wonder Woman did the impossible by taking down the Hydra beast by herself. This was a messy battle, but the world's finest managed to save the day. Later on, Batwoman New 52, we have the introduction to new supernatural characters when Batwoman was pursuing the Wolf Spider into this unnamed holding facility, and Wolf Spider released a bunch of monsters on Batwoman. You had Green Fairy, Lamprey, another guy called Scatter, which basically a version of Clayface but with roaches. And finally, Nocturna is a vampire lady who takes a special interest in Batwoman, not only because of the cowl and the cape, but the woman behind it. This story had a side quest type of development during the Future's End event that apparently nobody liked. Now, the last arc of Batwoman New 52, you have an insane story that gets called back in a way on the cover of Outsiders number 5. This was the time when Batwoman had her own version of a Justice League Dark. This group was called the Unknowns. The members of this team were Jason Blood, aka Etrigan the Demon, Basil Carlo, aka Clayface, Rory Reagan, aka Rackman, and Elizabeth Kane, or Beth Kane, who was going at the time as Red Alice. This ragtag group came together by what you may call fate. The gist of the story was that Morgan Le Fay from Camelot, a sworn enemy of Etrigan. By the way, all of that can be found in the Demon Comics by Jack Kirby. Shout out to the King of Comics. Morgan had a cult plotting her return, and they double-crossed Clayface to resurrect her. Fun fact, this is how Clayface ended up joining the Bat family during the rise of the Batman. All because of this silly story, Basil Carlo got a shot at redemption. Anyways, Red Alice was the last one to join the team, and they ended up having a crazy but epic fight against Morgan Le Fay and her forces. The battle spilled all over, and when I say all over, I mean all over. It went from Gotham to outer space. Yes, you heard that right, outer space. And finally, Camelot, where it all began. By the end, the Unknowns saved the world. The final story I want to mention is Gotham City Monsters by Stephen Orlando and Amenke Naholpan. I'm pretty sure I butchered that name. After Shade was dismantled by Leviathan, Frankenstein found himself free to go after Melmoth, some villain that Shade was after that they could never get, basically. Clearly, if Frankenstein is going after you, you are the worst of the worst. There's no other way to say that. So this story takes place in Monster Town, this little neighborhood in the outskirts of Gotham City. Frankenstein recruits to his crusade a bunch of monsters from Gotham's finest. Like I said, you got Andrew Bennett, aka I Vampire. You got Lady Clayface, Killer Croc, Orca, and Red Phantom. When they went after Melmoth, he had in his possession the Bible of Crime. So the monster decides to recruit one more person for his crusade. One who knows the Bible of Crime from personal experience. And you guessed it, that person was Batwoman. I mean, she literally got stabbed in the heart by some zealots who believe in this book. Batwoman eagerly joins the team. She has more empathy for this group of people than your normal vigilante. Not only that, but she fits right in with monsters, vampires, and such. This has a pretty epic climax when Melmoth summons the Universal Monsters to fight the Gotham City Monsters, the original Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Universal Monsters. After fighting their doppelgangers, the fight moves to Slaughter Swamp. The Green and Constantine and all of that, that's apparently in Gotham as well. Melmoth's plan was to destroy the multiverse unknowingly, because every time a villain wants to cross over something in the multiverse, they will destroy it somehow, not knowing that that is the end result. But anyway, yeah, the Gotham City Monsters saved the day, or rather the entire multiverse, alongside the Batwoman. I feel very strongly about Batwoman being a character rooted in the supernatural, and it seems Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly agree with me on this, because they are putting Batwoman on supernatural stories once again. Want to thank you for watching. Might as well give me a like and follow, and if you have any other stories that involve Batwoman being in supernatural scenarios or situations or fights, please let me know in the comments. I would love to read them and follow up on that. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day, and remember to read more comics.